After my visit in the 351 chamber of hell, the 14,000 city of heaven and the kingdom of prayer, the Lord granted me to visit the 26th department of heaven. I had this encounter when I was very sick. I mean, I was poisoned many times. When I was poisoned for the first time, I was hospitalized, and after 5 months in the hospital I began to show some signs of recovery. It is when I was recovering well that I was poisoned for the second time. My situation was deteriorating. As a human, I was losing all hope. As I went through this atrocity of poisoning, I said, Lord, I cannot take it anymore. I need to die. Maybe my death will be a good thing for my enemy and peace for my soul. I refused to get medical treatment, but the Lord said, I will heal you through medical science. The Lord said, you must understand that when you are sick, your body is weak, and the more you are sick and weak in the body, the more your spirit is strengthened. Your present condition of sickness in the body allow you to develop your spiritual body. The Lord assured me many times that I will not die from these multiple poisoning, but I will live. Yet I did not want to live, but He said, you are strong when you are weak in the body. I was tired and murmuring. Unbelief and worries filled my soul. Despite the Lord wanting me to live and do His works, I rejected that idea, and I was preparing for my death. When I received the visit of men of God, when they have left, I was still restless and agitated. I went to sleep because I was spending all my time sleeping. While I was deeply sleeping, I felt like movement. Then my spiritual eyes opened when I was still sleeping. I began to see eternal things that cannot be accessed by human capacity. I began to see celestial beings moving and the movement of angels of heaven. After a moment my eyes were focused to the sky and I saw the sky opening. There was a very strong light inside the portal of heaven. My soul was in rapture by the brightening light of heaven that emanated from the portal. The more I watched the eternal light of heaven, I saw coming out of this portal a celestial chariot of fire descending. It was intense and shining. It came down with a strong delegation of myriads angels of heaven. The heavenly chariot was drove by a tremendous angel that I cannot describe because of lack of appropriate vocabulary. This archangel was riding this fiery chariot and was followed by myriads of angels coming after him with praise and song to the glory of God. While the host of heaven were descending to the earth, I saw that they stopped in altitude of 5,000 kilometers above the earth, and they were observing me. I never saw this category of angels before. They were different. They had garments that were illuminated. They were dressed like rider and knight of ancient times, and they surrounded the archangel that rode the celestial vehicle. Finally this archangel told me, I greet you, Aston Buyer. Peace and grace to you, Aston. You have been chosen to be a witness of things you are about to see, so that you will testify. I'm the Archangel Gabriel. The Lord has sent me to you with a good news to announce to you. This good news is that you will not die of your sickness, but you will live in the middle of your sickness. You will not leave your state of sickness. You will live with your sickness, but you will not die. I am not here to announce the healing of your body today. This curse that is in your body is not leaving you today. It's the good news that the Lord has sent me to tell you. I have another good news to tell you. The Lord has sent me so that you can visit His kingdom. This experience will be a blessing for your soul and the church that will hear it. You will keep it in your heart and keep it faithfully. He tells me, now join us so that we can fulfill the will of God. I will lead you to the celestial word for a visit. The archangel and his delegation were suspended in the sky calling me to join them. With rush I was trying to leave the body to join the archangel while his delegation was singing song of victory and hymns to the Lord and releasing great authority and great light. While the power of angelic praise and light was attracting my spirit, I was still feeling like resistance from my physical body, that was stopping me from rising. Yet in the past I could travel with the angel only after leaving my body. I said to the archangel, I am unable to join you because of my flesh that is stopping me. The archangel told me, there are things that have bound your spirit with the flesh and the world. It's your sin that is stopping you from joining us, and this sin is a great burden and load on you, that is stopping you from joining us. There are two things that you must remove in you. These things are murmuring and worries of life. These are grave sin before God. You have become incredulous in your heart. You have not believed that the God of heaven can heal your body, and you are accusing God in your heart of being responsible of your situation. Whenever you are facing troubles and you are murmuring, you are committing a grave fault. Think about it. God would not let the children of Israel to enter the promised land because of murmuring. How many times Christians are murmuring against God because of the worries of life? Though you think it's not a grave things, you must understand that it is a sin before God, that is stopping your spirit from joining us. I say and declare to you, live in your body. The archangel said, in order to join us you will repeat this prayer after me. O God of heaven, I give you my heart. I know that I am unable to resolve my problem. I am trusting in you. When I repeated this prayer I saw my spirit leaving my body. As soon as I left my body, I saw that I was carrying a huge burden on my back, which stopped me from standing straight. I saw that my spirit was bent because of the heavy burden I was carrying. This burden was heavy. It was actually a black stone. This black stone was a burden that weighed so much on my soul. My spirit was bent because of the heavy burden and was unable to stand straight. It seems that the stone was trying to bring me downward. It was not possible for me to move forward. When a Christian is worried, asking question and murmuring, the enemy will impose him a stone that will burden his spirit. He will start to look at his own strength instead of counting and trusting God. Many Christians will miss the rapture because of worries of life and murmuring. I kept hearing the praise and song of angel though I was unable to lift my head in order to look at them. The archangel told me, this black stone on your back is the sin of guilt that is on you. When you have sinned and have asked for forgiveness, when you still feel like God has not forgiven you, the devil will come with this heavy black stone and place it on your back. As a result you will keep feeling guilt and the feeling of guilty will make you heavy. You will feel like something is not right. It is actually guilt in you. Guilt stops people from serving God. The devil will send people that will put in your heart that you are guilty. This stone is the weight of sin in the lives of the believer. For when the Christian sin, the body become heavy because sin burdens the body. In the last day when trumpet will be heard on the day of the rapture, many people will be left behind because of the weight of sin on their soul and body. Sins has made their body heavy. Brother, this black stone is what we call repetitive sin, that you are unable to abandon, sin that enveloped the believer so easily. May have been 20 years in the church since they repented, but they still have hidden sin, that they are unable to abandon. Sin enveloped the believer easily. Today people are lying on the phone and regard it little sin. The believer used the computer and pornographic picture pop up, and although he closed the pop-up of nudity, the believer still failed to confess what the eyes has seen. Brother, the deeper you fall in sin, the far you are away from God's presence. I learn from the archangel sin caused the believer to have less interest in church attendance. The archangel said sin will create interest that will be more important than being in God's presence. When there is service you won't feel like going to church, and because of the weight of sin you won't feel like reading the Bible. The devil imposed the burden of the black stone on the children of God to stop them from developing their intimacy with God. They will not be able to confess their iniquity. Finally the archangel said to me, now Aston, live in your body. At that moment the stone was removed from my back and I was free from the heavy burden of guilt. Standing before the archangel who was in his tank, I saw that he pulled out of his garment a book. He said, take the book and swallow it. There are codes of access to the department of the city of the celestial world. These codes will give you access. When he stretched his hand to give me the book, I saw that I was unable to take it because of the intensity of his light. The archangel said, it is because of sin that you are unable to receive. He kept telling me to take it, but I was still unable to take it. He said, you have been entertaining in your mind inconsistent thought towards God. All these negative thoughts you have constructed in your mind is a major obstacle. The hand of God is not short, but sin stopped God from acting in the believer situation. Sin is like gangrene that harms the body. Sin can stop man from his destiny. Sin is the only thing in the world that can stop God from doing what he just told you he will do. The archangel revealed that sin delay God's promise in the lives of the believer. Sin will delay and stop the promise of God. Many have God promises but are not seeing the fulfillment because of sin. Sin is a terrifying fatal weapon of the enemy. Sin is the great enemy of men. The most elevated battle in the life of men is against sin. Once you sin, the angel tells me you disturb the order of God. Reply, when you sin there is upheaval that happen in the spirit world. Sin overturn the situation. When you sin you modify the Lord calendar, you have scaled back the calendar of your blessing. The archangel explained that whenever a man is approaching the day and week of his blessing in God's calendar, the devil will try to get in distraction and cause him to sin, and because of sin God's calendar will change and the blessing day will be changed to the following month. If in the next month he continue with sin it will be scaled back for the second time. The third time will be the last opportunity of the year for the man to confess, otherwise the blessing will be scaled back for the following year. The archangel explained that apart from the first blessing that is in God's calendar there is actually a calendar of many blessings that will be scaled back because of upheaval caused by sin. If next year you continue with sinful life, the Lord may declare the blessing non-receivable. Since I was unable to receive this book, I saw appearing a supernatural entity. I knew that he was a fallen angel. He had a book that was exactly the same with the book that the Archangel Gabriel was giving me. This entity shouted to me, "Aston, if the Archangel does not want to give you the book, don't worry, I have the same book with me, take it." When I looked at the book he was giving me I saw that it was identical to the one Gabriel had. The enemy is an imitator, there was no difference. I saw the Archangel Gabriel rebuking this fallen angel. As a result he went away. The Archangel told me, "You saw that fallen angel that presented himself before you. His name is Bar Jesus, he is the angel of iniquity. His purpose is first to maintain the believer in a life of sin, secondly to allow the believer to prosper while living in sin. Bar Jesus bring financial prosperity in the lives of Christians that live in sin." The Archangel said the devil does not care whether you are rich or poor, what interests him is your soul. Lucifer is angry because of his downfall and because of God's judgment that condemn him to the lake of fire and sulfur. He does not want to go there alone, he only care about winning souls of men and he want to win billions of souls. He used the means of compromising and sin. Bar Jesus make Christian comfortable with sin. Men come to church but have become accustomed with sin. Women hear about separation from the ornament of sin but they continue to adorn themselves and still feel peace in them and they are not bothered. They live in sin and they prophesy and speak in tongue and serve God in sin. You must be careful. You cannot fall in sin just like that and then you come to serve God with your sin failing to confess them. You must be careful when you notice that after committing sin your gift of prophecy and tongue are thriving more. When you are deeply in sin and manifesting great capacity you must be careful. Be careful when you sleep in anger and get more vision. This angel of iniquity Bar Jesus makes sure that women refuse to give up painted face and still continue to be great prophetess. Be careful when you are being blessed as you continue deeper in a sinful life. The Archangel said Bar Jesus decrease in the mind of Christian the gravity and danger of hell. He caused people to be accustomed with church going while being attached to sin. He makes sin acceptable. In times past it was not easy for Christian to lie but today it is a lifestyle. The Archangel told me, "Now live in your body and join us." I saw that I was rising in the sky to join them. But something was stopping me from joining them, and I saw chains in my feet. The Archangel said the chains on your feet is because you have been offended by someone, and you have internal injuries in your heart. In truth I had an issue with the man of God. This was stopping me. Gabriel said you must get rid of that burden to join us. The Archangel said follow me in this prayer. Lord, I forgive my brother who have offended me. When I did this prayer I was released from my chains. After making prayer given to me by the Archangel, I had access to his book, that contained the mission I had to fulfill on the land. He said, I will give you a secret code that will give you access to the 27 Department of Heaven. This secret code is 14 name of the Lord that open access to the Department of City of Paradise.